I love this question is what can we do to de-escalate? Do you think Sanders and Khanna's resolution they just introduced has enough teeth? And that's a great question because it speaks to how Democrats helped get us here. And we can talk more about this in a bit, but let me just say that just a week ago or so, Democrats helped pass this National Defense Authorization Act, this massive military budget to Trump. And Democrats rejected an amendment from Sanders and Khanna that would have called on Trump. It would have said that Trump cannot go to war against Iran without congressional approval. And Democrats helped kill that.
188 House Democrats joined virtually all of the Republicans.
A part of the long road in which Democrats helped pave the way for Trump's launching this war on Iran with his assassination of Soleimani. Going back to when Chuck Schumer was campaigning against even Obama's Iran nuclear deal. And we can talk more about that. But what needs to happen in order for there to be the forces in the U.S. that could make Trump pay a domestic political cost? Because if you look at right now the Democratic response, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Adam Schiff, other prominent Democrats, nobody questioning Trump's warmongering with Iran, really. The critique of Trump, if there is one, being on very narrow process grounds. He didn't consult with Congress. He doesn't have a plan. It reminds me of when John Kerry was trying to run against George W. Bush in 2004, but he was in a bind because he himself, like Joe Biden, had voted for Bush's war in Iraq. That Kerry's line was, sure, Bush had a plan for the war, but he didn't have a plan to win the peace, which of course failed disastrously. So I wonder if you could talk about the Democrats here and the direction of the anti-war movement in 2003. You touched on it a little bit before. It felt so strong back then. All of us took part in these massive rallies, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. There was that famous one in New York City, others around the world and around the country. But now all of that is sapped. And you mentioned earlier that now the anti-imperial force inside the U.S. is pretty tiny, as represented by the small numbers that come out to protest against the murderous sanctions and coup attempt in Venezuela or the coup attempt in Bolivia. So what do you think needs to happen to rebuild an anti-war force in this country? And why do you think it's been sapped so much in the Trump era?